And tonight we are going to talk about financial wisdom. So I've got some nuggets here, part one and part two. So part one is more about the inner work because we have to understand that financial issues are always emotional issues. Okay, so whenever you can't do something, it's never about you can't do something. It's about something is blocking you on the inside. So it's an internal thing there. We want to do some internal work. But however, I think part two, I want to do more about some practical stuff, like the percentage of what you need, what you want, and savings and, all the number stuff. So we can do more of that. But I just want to quickly go through the first 6 or 7 points, and then we can discuss a little bit on that as well. So are we good?
Yes.
Okay, so number one, assess your family beliefs about money. This is a very important thing. Of course, acknowledge the good beliefs, okay? Acknowledge the good things that your family believes, but also assess what is not working, okay? Always assess. Whatever that worked, I mean, even some of the stuff that worked in the time past, they were good, but it might not work right now. We don't always blindly follow the beliefs and the patterns. We always have to update our beliefs. Sometimes we have some subtle mindsets where we might think, hey, look, I don't have the personality for that. Okay, my family has never done business, so I don't want to do business because none of my family members have done that. So why should I? Like these subtle ideas and thinking can actually stop you from exploring further. So we have to really have a good check in that. What about this? None of my family is rich, so as long as we have enough to get by, why do I have to get rich? Or I don't have a financial advisor, or I don't have a financial mentor. Therefore, I'll just do whatever I have to do, right? So examine these beliefs or mindsets, and but also to go deeper, right? You also have to examine whether you think that, hey, look, maybe I just can't do this. I see a lot of wealthy people or people who know how to acquire wealth, but maybe it's not for me. So you also have to examine the fact that, do you actually have some self-distrust or even self-condemnation? For some people, self-hatred. If you have these things in you, then it will stop you from succeeding. It will, because it's an emotional thing. Whether you believe that you can do it or you can't do it, you are right. Because the word actually says that, be it unto you according to your faith. Yeah. Number two, by the way, I actually made this myself out of my own experiences and ministry and everything. I think 2 of them are from Living Wisdom. Anyway, number two, how do you define success? There's a good question to ask yourself. A lot of people, they say, oh yeah, I'll read this book. This book is about financial success. You know all about what it means for that author of the book that you read, but you don't know what it means to you. And someone else is successful, and you tell everyone about how successful that person is. But you have to be able to personalize it and to define it for yourself. For some people, success just simply means I have enough to live on, but I can take care of my kids. That's success. But that's not wrong. It's your definition of success. That's the thing that's driving you. Yeah, you should be proud of it. But if you think it's not right, then redefine that. So discovering what success means to you can be as sacred as discovering who you are in God. Because these are actually special gifts from God. It's like finding out the unique recipe that makes up who you are. You can never take on the definition of success from someone else because that's how they define it, and it's working for them, but you must have your own. Number three, discern the season you are in or the opportunity you have. A lot of people don't see that. What does that mean? That means the season and the opportunity will come to you, but they will only last for a short time. But if you can catch that season, if you can discern that, if you can catch that opportunity, that can actually bring you up in a different financial level. But once they are gone, the opportunity is gone, then you can't have it back. You can't catch it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So you have to be really discerning. One guy asked his friend, he said, hey, look, I want to study to be a Sparky. They were only like 19, like probably 18 or something. The other guy actually came to me and asked me, he said, hey, look, Stan, my friend asked me to study electrical work with him. What do you think? I said, how long does that take you? And he said, 2 years. How much would you make after 2 years? He said, probably 50, 60, 70. If you work for 2 more years, it can probably get to 80 grand. I said, why don't you do it? And he said, oh, no, I want to pursue my YouTube channel. And then 2 years after that, his friend's doing really well as a Sparky, making 70 grand as a 21-year-old, while that guy is still struggling getting his YouTube channel up. Just 2 years. I said, why don't you do it? You see, the opportunity is gone because he could have done it with his friend, but he chose not to. Okay, if you are living at home and you have work or you're working, then aim to save up. Aim for the first 5 grand within a year. Aim to save up for 10 grand within a year. Why not? So we always encourage young people to learn to save up, learn to work hard. If someone asks you to work extra hours, when you are free, it's not touching your other commitments, you can actually do it. Why not? You're actually building up something, saving up something. I just told Helen this morning as I was preparing that, I said when I was 19 living in Wellington, I had about 20 to 25 grand sitting in my account as a 19-year-old kid. I mean, obviously, I didn't know how to use the money. I squandered my money on comic books and takeaways. However, I had money. I remember, there was an old Kiwi Chinese guy, Charlie. He hired me, and he's a restaurant owner, a Chinese restaurant owner. He's a Kiwi Chinese guy, and he liked to use me. He said, he told his manager, if you have any extra shifts that you want someone else to work with, just ask Stan first. And he liked me. And why? Because I just said yes. I didn't really think about all these things, saving up or you have to be responsible. I just said yes, so it was really cool. Well, but have we made any mistakes? Yes. I remember one time I bought our BMW, our first and only Euro car, and the importer, the only time, okay.
Was it this car?
A BMW.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got our name Yeung's on it. Yeah. And yeah. And I remember the guy who imported the car said to me, he said, Stan, you actually got it for a really good deal. Would you like to flip it? And you can actually make another 3 to 5 grand just by signing off the paperwork. And he actually said that I've got a buyer. Silly me, I said no. Because I like my Euro car, I like the status. Say, if I was able to handle the little bit of inconvenience, or if I was able to wait for, another 6 months to import another car, I would have another 3 to 5 grand sitting in my account just by taking up the offer. What about the house? The first house we bought in Mangere, the guy actually said that, hey, look, after you signed it off, why don't you sell it to the other guy and you can actually make 25 grand just by re-signing the contract without you moving into it. That was just an easy paperwork, but we didn't do it. Now, when we look back, right, opportunity came to us all the time, but it's just do you know how to catch it? And we were just thinking of comfort. We were thinking of, we don't like the inconvenience. We don't know the game. But now we just thought, well, why not? Just jump around different homes for for 3 years. We were young, If we took up the opportunity, we could have owned a home a lot more sooner, I guess. But we didn't have the knowledge. But we didn't have the knowledge. We didn't really think about these things. So discern the season you're in and the opportunity you have. Number 4, can you focus well? This is a really practical one. Is your mind sharp or mushy, right? Or are you able to stay on course? This is a very important thing that you have to learn to focus your mind because you have a lot of distractions around you. And sometimes when you lose it, you just can't do it, right? So focus means excluding the unnecessary, making sacrifices, and the ability to organize. It is a key element in all achievement. After all, Jesus actually said that he set his face like flint towards Jerusalem. So the more you can focus, the more success you can achieve. The more confident you will become. Eventually, you will become unstoppable in your own mind because you will know how to build momentum. Like one thing for me personally, I understand the power of deep work. What I mean by that is that I would aim to do 4 hours worth of deep work every day if I can. And now I learn to prime my mind to think if I stay there, I could just focus and I would say no browsing online, no answering phone calls, no looking up for this and that or notifications and everything. 4 hours deep work. You know why? Because like when you are able to do that, at the end of the 4 hours, you would have got something really good done. It's just 4 hours. It doesn't have to take long. And also on top of that, right? After I train my mind to focus for 4 hours, I can easily do another 4 hours. I can do another set of four. But I can choose to think, oh yeah, I'm done for the day. I'll just catch up with emails and talk to other people and stuff like that. So can you focus well? Because if you can focus, you can succeed. Number 5, watch out for toxic religious beliefs on money. Watch out for toxic religious beliefs on money. Just by praying in faith without practical plans or actionable steps will not get you anywhere. I consider myself as a really spiritual person, but if I don't plan, I don't action, I don't take steps, it's not gonna work. I will not get anything. I know that. I'll still have the peace of God. I can still pray. The presence of God is still there, but I won't achieve my financial goals. Like sometimes you hear people say things like, "Oh, God will provide." Either they say it because they don't want to tell you the details, or they say it because they really don't know what to do. Here, there's a thing from Living Wisdom. It says, some people live by faith and some people living by avoiding responsibility. Some people completely confuse the two. So they don't know which is which. Right?
Full of insights.
Hey, yeah. Number 6. Okay, this is a good one. What is a purpose that is greater than you? Okay, when it comes to financial gain or financial acquisition or, making good incomes, you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose that is greater than my need, greater than my life, just basically greater than me, right? If you can tap into that, I think money will come to you. If you lack a greater purpose, your desires, your cravings, your vanity will consume you. They will control you because you really have no greater purpose than, binge watching Netflix. But if you have a greater purpose, then bam, you're right there. Like how David, right? Young David in the Bible, when he saw the giant, he went to the king and he said, if I can kill the giant, then what is my reward? Did you remember that? So he tapped into the greater purpose. He said, oh, well, because everyone's scared, so I want to kill them for you guys. No. What is in it for me, okay? Give me the reward first. Tell me the reward first and I'll do it. And he did it. A greater purpose. So practically, how do we look at that, right? I'll say I have to give it to my mom. Actually, I learned that from my mom as well. My mom worked 50 years from when she was 13 till she was 63. And I remember one time we went out for lunch. She talked to me about that. And she said, you know what? I worked for 50 years. And she said, it's not just 40 hours a week. She said, I worked 7 days a week. Now I want to retire. I said, Mom, no one will blame you for not doing anything for the rest of your life, right? You're 63. She said, I just wanted 2 things. Number 1, she said, when I got old, I don't want my kids to look after me. I want to have enough money to look after myself. If I have to go to the hospital, if I have to go to do some sort of operations and stuff like that, I can pay for it all by myself.
I'm Asian.
Yeah. Number 2, she said, I want to leave one house for each kid that she has.
Just so many.
Yeah. She only has 4. Yeah, she only started doing her financial investment in her late 50s when she became separated away from my dad. Yeah. And really, she had a greater purpose than her life. She's not even a Christian. One time I had a supernatural encounter where I saw my home in heaven and Jesus actually showed me my home. But my house was empty. It was really massive, really big and empty. And then somehow Jesus actually said that if you live for me, I'll fold it up for you. I guess like that's the greater purpose for my life. So all of us need to have a greater purpose, like something that is greater than your own life. If you can tap into that, money will come to you. Money is not a problem. Number 7, who have you got that believes in you? You know, you need to have your own big person. You need to have some people who really believe in you, okay, despite of your own flaws and faults and problems. If you find these people, stick close to them, okay, and but also grow that relationship as well, because you know the world can be quite hostile. Not a lot of people will believe in your dreams. Okay, if you find some people who can believe in your dreams, believe in your visions, believe in you, then stick with them, because they can only give you energy to achieve your dreams. Yeah? No matter how successful or wealthy you are, you still need friends. If you don't have any right now, then make an effort to find some. Okay? Learning how to love and connect with others is really important. Self-centered, self-fixation are poor motivators. Means like if you focus on yourself, then you'll be so demotivated for them. Yeah, so questions for you. But any immediate thoughts before we break into groups?
I have one. Why do you need someone who believes in you?
I think the question I would ask myself is that, can I actually succeed all by myself? I don't think I can.
But like, just them believing in you, do stuff yourself.
Of course.
But there's a what impact?
Well, do we need support? Do we need encouragement? Do we need to share our joy? If you don't have those people around you, then you'll be on your own.
Maybe that's a broad term, believe in you. So, for example, I wish that I had a property development mentor. You know, when we were so young, I think we'd be thinking and our goals would be really different today. Our life would be really different today. I mean, it's not bad today, but what I mean is, we'll be different. It wouldn't look like this exactly.
But wouldn't it also like have, I don't know, like maybe even mentally to have like a family member or friends
Yes.
or even your partner,
Yes.
knowing like it may be nothing now, but believing that it will make it to something. I think it has a mental impact.
Emotional support to me.
It's a support network.
Mentally,
Yeah.
like
Actually, that's I just never had one.
always having like friends or like family saying, bro, like you should do something else. Like that's not gonna work. Like and the other side, it's like, bro, I think it'll really work. I think it'll really work out. Maybe like you can try it this way or that way. I think that's those two very different things.
Yeah, but if it's a bad idea, you kind of need the first one, right?
Like what are your plans? Like where do you think it's gonna go? Like you know, like probing your mind rather than
Yes.
Believing in you probably is more like, okay,